Driving enthusiasts think that plucky, underpowered subcompacts, such as the Ford Fiesta, beg for the driver involvement that comes from a 3-pedal, manual gearbox. This is one reason we've eschewed the Blue Oval's PowerShift 6-speed automatic for the standard 5-speed manual in all our previous tests of the car, which is one of our favorites in the class. This review marks the first time we've strapped our test gear to a Fiesta fitted with the optional $1,095 automatic, and the results left us pleasantly surprised. Unlike the competition, the Fiesta has an automatic transmission of the dual-clutch variety rather than a conventional automatic. This type of gearbox often means clumsy, stuttering drive-off behavior from rest because it lacks a torque converter, which has both a torque multiplication effect and smoothens the power delivery. Ford's initial programming when it introduced the car in 2011 also lacked the crisp, rapid-fire shifts we've come to expect from other dual-clutch gearboxes, which can be more typically found in high-performance vehicles. In principle, though, we tend to prefer dual-clutch automatics over the continuously variable transmission CVT often found in small cars. Shifting ahead, the Fiesta was lightly refreshed for 2014, and Ford made revisions to the transmission's tuning that have greatly improved the on-road demeanor of recent models. Ratios now swap with greater assertiveness, and the throttle type-in character better mimics a conventional automatics. While an awkward thumb toggle on the side of the shifter is the only means of manually swapping gears, dropping the selector into its S position calls up a cleverly tuned sport mode that raises the shift points, readily downshifts on its own, and still allows for cruising in top gear. Our 2016 Hatchback test car had the standard 1.6-litre 4-cylinder, which emits a pleasant growl as it produces 120 horsepower at 6,350 revolutions per minute and 112 lb-ft of torque up at 5,000 revolutions per minute. Ford does not offer any automatic option on Fiestas with the 1.0-litre EcoBoost 3-cylinder, a $995 option. There's still some hesitation as the dual-clutch transmission engages when departing from a standstill, but it's less jolting than before. For maximum acceleration, hold down both pedals and watch the engine zing to 3,000 revolutions per minute before releasing the brake pedal. At that point, the gearbox sharply engages the clutch. Aided by this aggressive launch technique, our test car took 8.7 seconds to get to 60 miles per hour and passed through the quarter mile in 16.8 seconds at 83 miles per hour. That would have placed it near Mudpack in our last segment comparison test, as would its 2,570-pound curb weight. The Fiesta lost out to the Mazda 2 and the previous generation Honda Fit in its initial comparison test in 2010, so it hasn't been invited back for later rounds. The automatic CPA ratings are 1 mile per gallon worse than the manuals, at 27 miles per gallon city and 37 miles per gallon highway, and our observed 29 miles per gallon puts it at the low end of this economy-conscious segment as a whole. But we tend to use widely open throttle a little more often than most drivers, so 30 miles per gallon or higher in the real world is a reasonable projection. Life with Tiny. The basic Fiesta can't do fun like its sportier ST sibling, but it's nicely composed on the road for a small car with a stubby 98-inch wheelbase. The diminutive footprint makes the ride rather busy on the highway, as well as bumpy over rougher pavement. But that's par for the course for cars at the Fiesta's minimal cost of entry $14,965 for the S sedan, $15,265 for the S hatch. Body motions are well managed, and decent grip from the 15-inch Hankook Optimo All Seasons produce to 173 foot-stop from 70 miles per hour and 0.83 grams of lateral grip, both of which would have topped the charts in the most recent segment comparo. Ford lets drivers deactivate the Fiesta's traction control, but the Allison electronic stability system restrains the car's off-limit performance. We wish the rather numb electrically assisted steering was as communicative as that on the street, or even the Honda Fit, our current champ in the non-performance portion of the segment. At the same time, the steering is precise and provides adequate confidence when pitching the car into corners. Although the Fiesta is among the most refined and quietest of the subcompacts, its cramped, basic interior is a trade-off for affordability, and the Ford entry measures in as the least spacious in its class. The tight back seat is a squeeze for adults, and the Fiesta's second row doesn't fold completely flat like the Fit's. The front seats are comfortable but lacking in thigh and side support, and soft touch surfaces are few and far between among the swaths of hard plastics. The overall design looks a bit dated and fussier than we'd like, as is the operation of the standard sync interface and its tiny center screen. Ford's vastly improved Sync 3 system with navigation and a 6.5-inch color display is a $795 option on say and titanium trims but is not available on the base S model. Fiesta hatchbacks get an additional demerit for poorer rear window visibility than the sedan, owing to the sloping rooflines. Small but not stripped, the handsome hatchback carries a $300 premium over the frumpier-looking sedan. Our mid-grade say hatchback test car started at a respectable $16,495. 7 airbags, USB and 12-volt outlets, and a tilting and telescoping steering column are among the standard amenities on all Fiestas, with the say trim adding power windows, cruise control, a leather-wrapped steering wheel, Ford's My Key security feature, and more. The say also opens up access to fancier extras, such as the 123 horsepower turbo inline 3 engine, Sync 3, a cold weather package $290, and a couple of appearance upgrades. Along with the power shift automatic, the only other option on our test car was white platinum metallic dry coat paint $595, which, after a $490 sync and sound discount, made for an as-tested figure of $18,185. The Fiesta's top-level titanium trim, which brings leather seating, 16-inch wheels, automatic climate control, a rear-view camera, and more, starts at $18,915. At that point, stretching for the delightful, manual-only $21,845 becomes an enticing prospect. While the Fiesta is not the biggest, the quickest, or the best value in its segment, it's a capable and refined little car at a reasonable price, and it's fully competitive with newer entries from Chevrolet, Honda, Kia, and Toyota. We'd still prefer to save the money and handle shifting duties ourselves, but opting for this improved version of the dual-clutch automatic does little to dilute the Fiesta driver's overall experience.